Welcome to the Texas Medical Center Library presentation on performing a literature search in Medline Ovid. This two-part tutorial covers how to successfully conduct a literature search in the Medline database using the Ovid search interface. In Part 1, we'll cover how to connect to the database from our library homepage and how to conduct a basic literature search using the advanced search interface. In Part 2, we'll discuss ways to expand or narrow your search using search line editing, how to use limiters, and how to save your search. So, what is Medline Ovid? Medline is the National Library of Medicine's bibliographic database that contains over 23 million citations to journal articles and is updated daily. It includes more than 5,600 biomedicine and life sciences journals in over 40 languages. Ovid Technologies, part of the Wolters Kluwer Group, provides access to online databases. Ovid provides a search interface for Medline that is optimized for the precision and depth that complex literature searches require. Medline Ovid must be accessed from the Texas Medical Center Library homepage at library.tmc.edu. You'll find a link to the database under Core Resources. If you're logging in from outside the library, you might be prompted to log in via the library's authentication system, Open Athens. If you have problems with the authentication process, please refer to our LibGuide on that topic or contact a librarian. Once authenticated, you'll be directed to the main Medline Ovid search screen. By default, the search screen is set to advanced mode. Before beginning a search in Medline Ovid, it's a good idea to create an Ovid account so that you can save your search. For information on setting up an account, saving results, and running saved searches, please see our database LibGuide, which includes step-by-step instructions on that process. Let's use the following example research question. Is the basophil activation test an effective way to detect nut allergies in children? The main concepts in this research question are basophil activation test, nut allergies, and children. It's essential to search each of these concepts separately using both MESH and keywords. MESH stands for Medical Subject Headings. MESH is a controlled vocabulary produced by the National Library of Medicine used to index articles for Medline. Keywords are any words or phrases used to describe a particular concept. Unlike subject headings, the list of possible keywords for a particular concept can be quite long. Often, keywords are supplied by the authors of an article and can be found in the titles, abstracts, and keyword fields. For more information on MESH and keywords, please watch our video on subject headings and keywords in which we go into much more detail. Both MESH terms and keywords are essential to conduct a thorough search of the literature, and our video explains why. Searching Medline in this way can be thought of as a building block approach. We start with the MESH search and add that to our keyword search with the Boolean operator OR. Adding those searches together results in the first building block of our literature search. The next building blocks consist of MESH and keyword searches for all the remaining concepts in our research question. Once we have all the blocks in place, we can combine them with the Boolean operator AND to get our final list of results. To begin that process, let's go ahead and search MESH for our first concept of basophil activation test. Make sure that the button next to Map Term to Subject Heading is checked. This tells the database to search for the appropriate subject headings for the term you entered. Medline Ovid will try to match our term to a MESH term. We are redirected to the subject heading of basophil degranulation test. Even though we can be pretty sure this term is relevant to our concept, it's still important to click on the blue information icon to see the scope note. The scope note provides a brief definition, other related subject headings, and terms that the subject heading is used for. Our keyword term, basophil activation test, for example, is included in the list of keywords for this topic. By examining the scope note, we determine that the MESH heading of basophil degranulation test fits our intended meaning, so this is the MESH we're going to use. Click on the back button on your browser to return to the list of mesh terms. Medline gives you a couple of options for modifying your subject heading search by either refining or expanding your search terms. The focus checkbox will narrow results to articles in which basophil activation test has been identified as the primary topic for that article. It's generally recommended to avoid using this option, especially in the beginning stages of your literature search, because it can eliminate potentially relevant articles from your search results. We can always go back and change this later on if we want to do that using the edit feature, which we will cover in our next video in this series. Located beside focus is the explode checkbox. This option is used to expand your search to include more mesh terms. Many subject headings can be broken down into more specific terms. The explode function allows us to capture all of these terms, the broader term and all narrower terms below it, in a single search. Clicking on the subject heading basophil degranulation test takes us to Medline's subject index, where the mesh are arranged in a hierarchy of broader and narrower terms. Scroll down to find our subject heading highlighted in blue. We can see here that the subject heading of basophil degranulation test is located under the broader heading of immunologic tests. From here, you can choose to search more than one subject heading if that's what you want to do. In this case, our topic concerns the basophil activation test only, so we'll select only this subject heading. There's no need to explode that term since there are no narrower terms below it. I'm also leaving the focus box unchecked because I don't want to miss out on any articles that may have been indexed with this subject heading as a minor heading. Click Continue. This brings up a list of subheadings that will narrow your search to articles covering specific aspects of the basophil activation test. These can be tempting to use because they will quickly narrow a search, but they should be used with caution, especially at the beginning of the search process, because again, it can eliminate potentially relevant articles from your search results. For the purposes of this search, I'm choosing not to limit my results to any one subheading. Click Continue to include all subheadings in the search. Basophil degranulation test has been added to our search history. Now we'll search for keywords related to this concept. We have our mesh, basophil degranulation test, and we know that basophil activation test is a synonym used in the literature. I like to use both the mesh term and any synonyms in my keyword search. In order to search for keywords, I'm going to head over to the Search Fields tab. I only want to search certain fields for these terms. These include the title field, the abstract field, the keyword field, and the key phrase field. So from the fields below, I'm going to select abstract, keyword, heading word, keyword heading, and title. Type your list of keywords into the search box. Notice that I'm using the Boolean operator or between each keyword or key phrase. That's because I want the database to bring me articles containing any of these terms, or is used between synonyms or related terms. I'm also placing quotations around any terms that include more than one word. I want the database to find me articles that include these words right next to one another in this exact order. This is called phrase searching. I'm also going to truncate certain words using the truncation symbol, an asterisk. This allows me to search the database for variations of the end of a word. For example, truncating after the second T in test allows me to search for the plural of that word also. For a deeper explanation of database field searching, Boolean operators, truncation, and phrase searching, please visit our LibGuide on database search strategies, where we go into much more detail on each of those advanced search tools. Now that I've got my keywords entered, I'll click on Search. My keyword search is added to my search history. Notice that Medline Ovid has placed parentheses around my search phrase and has also added the following syntax to the end of that phrase. Advanced Medline Ovid users sometimes just type the syntax directly into the advanced search bar. You don't have to do that, but it helps to be familiar with the syntax the database is using to retrieve results. Now that I've conducted a mesh search and keyword search on this concept, I'm ready to combine these lines together with OR. I'm telling the database to bring me articles that include this concept as a subject heading or as a keyword. In this way, I can be confident that I'm capturing as many articles as possible on this particular concept. By searching mesh, I can be certain my search is precise, and by searching keywords, I can be sure my search is as complete as possible. So we've completed the first part, or building block, of our comprehensive literature search. Let's move on now to the next concept of nut allergies. I'm entering this term into the search box under Advanced Search, making sure the box next to Map Term is checked. My term maps to nut hypersensitivity. Clicking on the term takes me to the thesaurus tree, where I can see that the subject heading of nut hypersensitivity is included under the broader heading of nut and peanut hypersensitivity, and that peanut hypersensitivity is a narrower subject heading under that heading as well. So since I'm interested in all kinds of nut allergies, including tree nuts and peanuts, I'll go ahead and explode the broader subject heading of nut and peanut hypersensitivity to capture all of those headings together. And I'm going to uncheck nut hypersensitivity. I'm going to bypass the subheadings by clicking on Continue. Now I've searched the mesh for this topic. On to keywords. Again, going back to the Field Search tab, I'll enter my keywords into the search box. Medline Ovid remembers the fields I chose from my previous search, so there's no need to select them again. And I'm placing quotations around phrases and truncating where necessary. I'm truncating at the Y in allergy to get allergy or allergies, and I'm also truncating at the Y in hypersensitivity so I can also get the plural of that word. Next, I'll combine the mesh search and keyword search lines to run a comprehensive search on this topic. So we've now performed a comprehensive literature search for two concepts related to our research question, the basal activation test and nut allergies. Next, we'll perform a search for the concept of children. I'll enter children in the advanced search screen. Medline maps us to the mesh term of child. Clicking on the scope note for this term, I can see that this term includes children between the ages of 6 and 12. I'm going to leave it to just this age group for now, but I can always go back later and change that if I want to. Again, I'll bypass the subheadings by clicking Continue. Now on to keywords. Switching back over to field searching, I'll type out some keywords for this concept. I'm going to use child, truncated to include childhood or children or childs, and I'm also going to include youth and kids. I'm not going to truncate kid because doing that might bring us irrelevant results related to things like kidneys. So this is something, truncation is something you have to be a little bit careful with. Just like with the last two concepts, I'm going to combine the mesh line and keyword line for child together with or. Now I've searched three concepts using both mesh and keywords. It's time to combine these concepts together with and to tell the database to bring us articles containing all of these concepts together. To do that, I'm going to click on the line numbers next to my combined searches for each concept and then combine those lines together with the Boolean operator and. Let's quickly recap that search with our building block analogy. First, we combined a search for the mesh and keywords related to the basal activation test with or. We did the same thing with nut allergies and also with our third concept of children. Once all of our mesh and keyword searches were performed for all concepts, we combined them with the Boolean operator and this gives us our final list of results. So my search retrieved about 40 results. All of these articles will contain the concepts of the basal activation test, nut allergies, and children somewhere either in the subject headings or in the titles, abstracts, or keyword fields. At this point, it's important to examine the abstracts and complete references of the articles you see to evaluate how well your search strategy worked. The abstract, which you can access by clicking on the down arrow below the title of the article, highlights where our keywords appear. Open the complete reference to see where in the record our other terms appeared. In the complete reference, you can also see how the article was indexed and which mesh were used. For instance, in this article, our keyword of basophil activation test appears in the keyword field. As you screen through your search results, make a note of any additional keywords or subject headings you see that you might want to add to your search strategy. For instance, in this article, there's a mesh heading that's used. The mesh heading is basophils. That's one that I might want to later on add to my search history to get more results. In our next video, we'll show you how to use the Edit Line feature to work with your search results by either expanding or narrowing the number of articles you're retrieving. We'll also cover how to use limiters and how to save your search. If you have questions about searching Medline Ovid, please contact a librarian.